You can probably guess by the title of this video that we will be talking about the book, The End of Insurance as We Know It by Rob Galbraith. But first, a disclaimer. I can promise you that this is an honest, unfiltered review, but I cannot promise that it's not a little bit biased. Because it's not like I stumbled across this book and was like, this Rob Galbraith fella wrote a book on insurance. Perhaps I'll read it. Perhaps I shan't. Perhaps I'll adopt an English accent for absolutely no reason at all. Yeah, no. Rob Galbraith, aka the most interesting man in insurance, is not only one of my heroes, but also one of the most awesome people on earth. Not just the insurance industry, like the whole earth. He's that awesome. So it was a little more like this.
What's this? A book release? Who wrote a book? Rob Galbraith? Rob Galbraith wrote a book?
Anyways, the most interesting man in insurance wrote a book, and we are going to talk about it. You guys already know I'm a pretty huge nerd, so this won't really come as a surprise, but I actually have a one-of-a-kind custom printed copy of The End of Insurance, so yours won't look like this. I got a PDF from the publisher, so I had to print it at Staples so that I could go through it like a textbook with a pen and highlighter. My plan was to earmark the corners of a few pages to highlight in this video. And I have about 70 or 80 pages bookmarked, so buckle up, this is going to be a long ride. Just kidding. I will condense it to a few minutes so you can keep scrolling. Instead, I will just share my top 3 aha moments and top 3 critiques so you can decide if you want to read it. I still don't know a lot of the lingo. I consider myself pretty fluent in underwriting, so I was not expecting this aha in reading a book written by an underwriting leader. But lo and behold, there are words I don't know. In the first few chapters, Rob introduces the current state of insurance and its 7 fatal flaws. A lot of the content was familiar, but there were also a lot of new concepts for me and new spins on familiar concepts. For example, the idea of having long and short tail lines of insurance, the concept of being under or unbanked, an analogy of insurance being the investor's equivalent of speculative junk bonds. These types of things were not on my radar, and now they are. Organizations are only 7 questions away from a game-changing innovation culture. In chapter 13, Rob talks about the challenge that organizations, especially those on the carrier side, face when trying to foster innovation. He offers 7 questions as a starting point for an internal discussion. And he really hits the nail on the head. In my opinion, looking at these questions, if your organization can sit down and agree on the answers to these 7 questions, you will win. You will be innovating circles around the competition. Spot on capturing the core strategy alignment needed for innovation. You can actually do real, concrete, measurable stuff with some of the shiny new objects in technology. One frustration I've had as a non-sciencey type is understanding what a lot of the new technology means for insurance on an actual operational level. I find myself reading papers and articles about new technology, and it's waxing poetic about how it's going to revolutionize the world, but it doesn't help me understand how. Who is going to use it and when, and how is it going to fit in the current operations? Does it replace current item Z, or do you add it in? And if so, how do you do that? Rob covers the new and developing tech and trends, but also talks about them concretely. Chapter 14 has 4 specific benefits of AI. Chapter 19 has 12 examples of where blockchain could be used. Chapter 16 talks about global insurance trends and how they're affecting the US and what we can expect to see going forward. I mean, there's definitely some data science-y type words in there, but it's written in a way that does not require a PhD to understand. So it really helped me conceptualize what these things mean for us and what we can actually do with them. And now 3 critiques. Rob says somewhere in the intro that you can read this book in a cross-country flight. Definitely took me over a month. Though that could be because I'm a chronic overanalyzer, overthinker, and got stopped up and lost in my own thoughts every other page.
Morale hazard. Could parametric insurance help reduce that risk? Is it even possible to reduce that risk? Does the very presence of a risk-sharing mechanism make a morale hazard inevitable? I left my car running in the parking lot when I dropped the kids off at school the other day. Would I have done that if I didn't have insurance? Is that reckless of me? I mean, it was literally 40 below, but yeah, that doesn't really reduce the risk. I could share that example in my next video. Nah, because what if my agent is watching and regrets giving me all that comp coverage? Does Luke watch my videos? I don't think he does. I should give him a call. I feel like I should reevaluate my coverage B. What was I doing? Rob's book, Morale Hazard.
In chapter 12, Rob says that the vast majority of InsurTechs will flame out, while some will survive and carve out a niche. Yeah, I searched the appendix and I can't find the list telling us which ones are which. Inquiring minds want to know which ones are gonna flame out. Maybe that'll be in the sequel. Rob alludes to my favorite insurance acronym and Bill Wilson anthem, RTFP, but there is an error in the transcription. He has it listed here as read the full policy. Mostly correct, but the F is wrong. I mean, at least that's how I read it. And I don't want to say that I'm an expert on RTFP, but I do have a t-shirt that says RTFP on it. In summary, this is a terrible book that I will probably only read 3 or 4 more times. Let's face it, insurance is not changing and InsurTech is a non-starter. I heard Caribou Honig and Jay Weintraub tried to put together a conference about it and like 4 people showed up. Nobody cares. But just in case insurance does change, you could buy this book and have a pretty solid roadmap for the coming years. If you believe this Rob Galbraith guy knows anything and care what he has to say, which I don't. I mean, whatever. Oh my god, Rob liked my post. Links below to pick up the book The End of Insurance as We Know It, and subscribe to the Insurance Nerdery for more nerdy fun. See you next time.